Threads is here, the latest in a very long line of potential killers of the Goliath that is Twitter. It's obviously sort of affiliated with Instagram. It's being developed and launched by Meta, and it's now out and popular, by the way. In just the first day, not even a full day, 23 million people signed up for this, which is a lot. That's a lot of people for 8 hours, I guess. And the time it takes for a social media site to get to 10 million users is an interesting metric. I don't know why that's the metric we use, but that's what I've got. So I'm gonna dive into the numbers. Darren Rovell accumulated some different examples. Facebook back in the day took nearly 3 years to reach that mark. Twitter took over 2, based on my quick mental math. Instagram less than a full year. Clubhouse was pretty quick. Hey, remember Clubhouse? ChatGPT just a little bit over a month. Google Plus. Oh, Google Plus, we barely knew ye. 16 days, but Threads is at 7 hours. So look, there have been, like I said, a lot of these challengers to Twitter. There was Post and there was Mastodon and there was, I guess technically like True Central, and obviously Blue Sky, which a lot of people really enjoy. But this one has certain advantages. Coming to market with the backing of one of the richest people on the world, affiliated with WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and all that, is a big one. Instagram, which is sort of how you launch your Threads, is through your Instagram account, has 1.21 billion active users. So there is potentially a lot of reach here. To discuss this, I wanted to bring on someone who I know is now a part of Threads, Gary Chambers. What do you think about Threads, about Twitter, and about all that's been happening in social media over the last couple of years?
Anything that gives us a place to get away from Twitter, I'm all for it. I think that it is a place that has just become a cesspool more than it is a conversation hub. I think that this is a smart time for Meta to make a move like this because there's so much going on with Twitter. Twitter making a decision last week or whatever to decide, I guess you can see 600 posts when you start limiting what people can see. Now, Instagram's got its own challenges because I'd like to be able to have all of my followers see what I post. And so hopefully that's not a part of the strategy here with this new platform. But I think that anything that opens up right now is a good opportunity. There's also a platform called Spill, that's a Black-owned platform that started out that I think that people are transitioning to. You gotta have an invite to Spill, but I think that people are really looking for a platform where they can communicate without a lot of the just bile that comes from Twitter over the last few years. It's just not a healthy place right now.
Yeah, and it's easy, I guess, to forget after last year that it's not like Twitter was great 4 years ago. It already allowed a lot of harassment and driving people off the platform and all of that. But there's that, and then there's a person taking it over, obviously to encourage that and to make that easier to do. And we'll see what ends up happening with Threads. I mean, look, Facebook has had a lot of issues in terms of the activity that it's allowed on it, is run by the same guy. So if you have fears about the content moderation, the protection for marginalized groups on this platform, I think there is historic reason to have those fears. And you brought up, the ability to have everyone see your posts. It's more of like a tech thing, but I think the way that Instagram deals with its feed is incredibly infuriating, purposefully infuriating. So will they do the same thing on Threads? I think maybe I'm old fashioned or whatever. I like to think that I speak for people when I say, can we just have a chronological feed where you see everything that is posted by people you choose to follow? I don't think that's asking for too much. Like, keep your algorithm out of it. You can have an algorithmic feed, but just give me my chronological feed too. But anyway, coming out of this obviously successful launch, Mark Zuckerberg is, I think he's feeling enthusiastic. Someone had posted, Threads is brilliant, Twitter is done, Elon to be KO'd by Zuck too. And Zuckerberg responded, we're only in the opening moments of the first round here, either talking about the continued battle between the social media sites or the potential brawl between these two billionaires. He's also been stressing in his messages that he's focusing, quote, on kindness and making this a friendly place, which is good. I think a lot of people feel that way, but it's also it's a weird thing to hear coming out of Mark Zuckerberg, a guy who has so often had a lot of difficulty in like even impersonating a regular warm human being. And obviously Facebook has a lot of bile of its own, Gary. So look, I agree with you. I think I want it to be a place where people feel welcomed and protected. I want it to be a place where progressives and leftists can do the important organizing and communications work that they need to do. That's an important tool to have, and Twitter has seemingly made a lot of moves in the last year to damage that. If it could be a friendly place, I think that that's great too, but we'll see in terms of content moderation what that actually means in practice. What do you think?
I think the jury's out. We'll see in a few weeks, but I think people are definitely engaging with it. They're looking for a new place. So if I'm the folks at Meta, I'm taking that into consideration, and I want to be that home.
Yeah, and by the way, it certainly doesn't hurt that so as you mentioned, I was spilled that it was invite only. A lot of these have been. I think Post and Mastodon were. Blue Sky was invite only. It started to expand more recently, but having this come out and everyone can just sign on, and when you get there, a lot of the news sites that you might follow or websites that you follow, celebrities and athletes and musicians that you follow. Instagram, of course, is very popular, so that certainly gives them a big advantage. There are certainly downsides though, and let's acknowledge some of those. As of right now, there are no DMs, so if you want to do some sliding, you need to do it right out where everyone can see. There's no real search feature. There's no trends. Again, there's no following feed. You can't edit messages, you can't see what other users like, which might be a feature, honestly, but it isn't there anyway. So there are quite a few things that you can't do, but it's got video, which is good. I'm gonna be posting some video a little bit later on today. Are there any specific features or anything like that you'd like to see, Gary?
I think the first thing I noticed was that there was no DM feature, and I don't know if I'm against that or not because it's a lot. It can become a lot, but for me, I think that it's really about what I have liked about it is the continuity of it, just being able to switch over from Instagram and people being able to follow me instantly. I think I've got a few thousand followers already since last night. I think the ease of all of it is gonna make it a good deal for people to transition. But I actually also don't think that I need the likes to be shown because you might not like everybody's thing if everybody can see everything that you like in a scroll on Twitter. I sure like less things on Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's probably, that seems fair. That seems fair. And by the way, if a lot of toxic guys can't be sliding into people's DMs, at the very least, they'll feel free to like things without you having to know about the sort of patterns of what they're liking and everything. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with them keeping that hidden and everything. I don't think at this point you can see who other people are following, which has its upsides and its downsides. I don't know that everyone that you follow should necessarily be revealed, but sometimes it's helpful. If I like AOC, I want to see who she's following because that might be good sources of information, up and coming candidates and things. So there's definitely some upside and downside.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.